Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. It is still August 13th. It is Thursday, 2020. And what we're going to go over today, we're going to talk about 7 mistakes when collecting water. Okay, so obviously this is a rain collection system that I have, and I got a couple things I want to add onto this as well. Okay, but one of the things that people have an issue with is construction. All right, when they're making a rain catchment system, a lot of people will use 55-gallon barrels or whatever they're going to use. And so when you're making your rain catchment system, you got to make sure that everything is squared away, that it's not going to be leaking. A lot of the here, I'll show you. We'll go around on this side. So you have your valve sometimes on the bottom where you can get your water out that way, right? You got to make sure that that's not going to leak when you do the construction of your rain catchment system, because obviously if that's leaking, you're going to lose all that water that you're collecting. Okay, so that's always know with your collection. Now the other thing with that, with your construction, we had a system, and if you go back to my old channel, which was Odin L 555. So if you go back to my very first video of this, I tell you that again what the channel used to be at our old place that we had further south here. And we had a 12-barrel rain collection system on the back of the house that we collected water off of the house because that property did not have a well. So in order to take showers and stuff, we had to do that. So one of the problems that we ran into when we set that up initially was we came back, we set the system up, we came back thinking, okay, all 12 of these barrels is going to be completely full. We're going to be great, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be fantastic. One barrel was full, and the reason why was airflow. We had not taken into consideration making sure there was proper ventilation so that the old air could get out of there as it fills up the water. So once we did that, all 12 of them filled up fine. So we had to basically put air holes into each barrel so that when the new water was going in there, that excess air had an escape route. Okay, so that was something that was really important that we didn't even think about. The next thing would be overflow. All right, so you have this is our overflow. Okay, so I'm going to open this up real quick here. Let's see. Okay, and we'll actually go on the other side here first, and I want to show you this. All right, so right there is our overflow. So once the water gets up to that level, it will dump out. Okay, so one of the things you want to take into consideration with your overflow is if like now the house is up on blocks for us, so that's not there's no basement. So I'm trying to get this on here, guys. Hold on a second. I'll just leave it like that for right now. So you're going to want to have this generally away from your house. So your overflow valve, if you're going to have excess water coming out of there, you don't want it to go directly by your basement, where your foundation is, because that's going to weaken your foundation over time. I don't have to worry about that here because we don't have a foundation. Everything is up on blocks, so that water is going to go ahead and dissipate into the ground. But you definitely want to think about which way you're going to want to angle your overflow valve. Okay, and you could actually with your overflow valve, you could have it piped off away from your house as well. So that's another option that you can do. Okay, number 3 is screening. Okay, so obviously we have a screen on here, right? We got that tied up for the overflow valve. We also have screening in here, so everything that comes down and in is screened, so you're keeping out your debris, your bugs. It's squared away so the mosquitoes can't get in there. So if the mosquitoes go down in here, I'll show you. If the mosquitoes go down into here, okay, they're not going to get any further because the screening is in the way. It prevents them. Now periodically you do have to clean out that screening because it gets clogged with debris and stuff over time, and you definitely need to take care of that. Okay, so it's definitely something, it's a good thing to have. You don't want all that debris and garbage and mosquitoes laying eggs in your water that you're using for your rain catchment system. Number 4 would be your gutters, okay? So we got the gutters up here. Making sure you don't have a lot of debris in your gutters, because what that's going to do, it's going to impede the water flow. You're not going to collect as much water as you would if the gutters were clean. I got up there earlier this year and cleaned out all the gutters so that they would work better, and you know, they absolutely do now that they're clean. Okay, so that's an important thing when you're doing that. I mean, if you can get gutter guards and you can go that route, that's a good thing to do as well. Okay. Number 5, sanitation. Okay, if you're collecting, like we're collecting the rain off of the roof, okay, now we're not drinking this water, but let's say we were going to drink this water. You're going to want to make sure that you filter that water, that you sanitize that water, either with boiling or with, you know, like a big Berkey or whatever. You're going to filter that water first and get any extra particles or anything out. And then what you're going to want to do is, like I said, either boil that water, rolling boil for 5 minutes, or you're going to take and use, you know, like a big Berkey and filter the water that way. Okay, so that's what you want to make sure when you're doing that. Number 6 is origin. Okay, so what am I talking about that? Where did you get your rain catchment barrel? All right, what was in that barrel? What did they use that barrel before? If they use that barrel for chemicals or something like that, that's really not the one you're going to want to use to catch water that you plan on drinking with. If you can get a food grade barrel, this here was a 550 gallon water tank that we got down at Tractor Supply. And there's another thing I'm going to touch on the end of this as well, okay? But so know where your rain barrels are coming from, because a lot of people will use, you know, the 55 gallon barrels. Make sure it was a food grade barrel. Make sure it wasn't used for chemicals. And if it was used for chemicals, you know, you can clean it out really, really well, but I would rather just not even deal with that at all. I would rather go with a food grade barrel if you can find that instead. All right. Number 7, and this one's kind of actually important. Local regulations. All right. What are the laws? Because in some places it is illegal to catch rainwater. So if you are in a situation where you're trying to catch rainwater, either for your gardens or whatever the case may be, and you have local regulations restricting your water use, what can you do about that? Well, you can get stealthy if you have to. Because we don't have that here, I can leave this right out here in the open. Now, if we had an issue and there was like laws in our state saying that you could not collect rainwater, which is, in my opinion, is absolutely ridiculous, what we could do, we could bury that tank and have it set up very stealthily that everything went into a big barrel or a holding tank underground, and we could do it that way. So there's always ways around things. Now, or if there's the regulation says that you can't do it, then don't. But, you know, I'm not going to dictate to have somebody dictate to me if I can or cannot collect rainwater. I think that is absolutely ludicrous, you know, and they don't own the rainwater. So, you know, and if it's falling on my property, I'm going to utilize it whatever way I want to. This is how we water our garden. This is the only way we water the garden. I don't use any of the well water for the garden at all. We use this. And as you can see, it wasn't down that much right now because we've had some rains, obviously, so the tank had filled back up. The last few days, obviously, we haven't had rain, so, you know, we've been utilizing out of the barrel. So, but now the other thing that I was going to say, so we've already gone over all 7, but the last thing I was going to say is when we bought this barrel or rain catchment, you know, holding tank, water tank, it was white. All right. The problem with a white barrel or holding tank or whatever you're going to have, if the sun is getting in there, it's going to make algae and stuff like that because it's going to penetrate that. So what we did to combat that, we painted, I used spray paint to spray paint the tank and made it black. And again, spray paint can be gotten very, very cheaply. The cans that I got were 99 cents a can. And I had a whole bunch. I still have a whole bunch. And, you know, I had people were telling me when we first did this, I think I used 5 or 6 spray cans, 5 or 6 of them on the tank, and I had people telling me, oh my God, that's just going to peel right off, and you know that's not going to work. And you know, of course, everybody has an opinion, and that's fine. But realistically, we've had this up since the very first year we came on the property, and I think it was the first year. It's been at least 4 years, maybe 5. Okay, but let's say it was 4 years. In that time, I've used 2 other cans of spray paint. Now, like right now, I could touch up here. Hit a few spots there, hit a few spots there, and that's basically just getting 1 can of spray paint, hitting the spots that need to be hit, and then we're good to go again. So it really held up well. You know, like I said, everybody's going to have their doubts, but the way I looked at it, let's say it peeled off every year. If it cost me $6 for, you know, 5 or 6 cans of spray paint to do that every year, who cared? That's the way I looked at it. But it really, and it hasn't. It's held up fantastically. So that's those are some of the things that you need to think about if you're going to be doing a rain catchment system. Probably, like I said, one of the biggest things, again, is the bugs. You want to make sure, that's why we got that sealed up all the time. The screening on the way into the tank and the screening on the way out, so that the bugs cannot get in there and wreak havoc inside of the tank. You definitely don't want all the baby mosquitoes and all that kind of larvae and all the other garbage coming in and getting in your tank, because then you'll end up like your bottom of your tank will be all sediment and crappy, and it's just, you just don't want to deal with that. You know, like I said, again, make sure your tank is dark. Even if you have to spray paint it or paint it, however way you feel comfortable doing it, that's the way I would suggest to do it, because again, you don't want the algae buildup either. This water, I'm going to open this up one more time, of course, after I've closed this. That water is really clear, really clear. And like I said, 5, maybe 6 years. Well, let's see, at least, maybe 5. I think it's 5 years that we've had this in here, and it's just been fantastic. You know, very useful tool, and you know, I would encourage anybody to have this, because again, in an emergency, worst case, end of the world situation, I have 550 gallons of water right here on demand, ready to go. I open that up and I put a bucket in there or whatever I want to put in there, and I have that water. You know, that's just another option for us. And again, it's going to continue to rain. You're going to get a chance to fill those back up again. And it's just, like I said, it's just a smart thing to do. Okay, so wanted to share that with you. I definitely would like to hear your feedback. Please like, comment, and share the video if you would, please. I would appreciate that. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button to show support for the channel, and it really does help with the algorithms as well. So thank you for doing that ahead of time as well. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Okay, busy day, but good. Productive, just doing some other running around today that I had to do, and but it was a good day, and but I wanted to get this second video out for you guys, and so that's why I'm doing this video now. And I'm going to go and check and see how many eggs we end up with today, and get the birdies locked up, and there's the puppies are out there chilling as well. So just a really nice day. So I hope everybody's doing well. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm like forgetting the ending. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. You know, we are one big, huge family out there. We're one race called the human race. We need to take that into consideration and not continue to get sucked into all these political grandstanding games, and not let the media dictate how we're going to think about things and tell us what we should be doing or what we should be offended about or not be offended about. There's a lot bigger fish to fry than if your feelings are hurt about something. Okay, so think about that. Also remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from getting there is you, okay? Nobody else can stop you. I hope everybody's having a great day. Stay focused, keep prepping, continue to get ready, guys. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.